So hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking to you about the 3 reasons why Naomi Osaka is such a great tennis player and why she's been consistently in the world top number 10 in the WTA. So number 1, she has amazing footwork. So as you can see, I've been watching a lot of her tennis matches and all of the times she's been getting ahead of the ball. You can see her having all the right textbook footwork in all of her matches. And why I think she's consistently on the top of her game is because she's always getting to the ball ahead of the time. And this gives her the opportunity to be able to hit the ball that she wants and execute it the way that she can choose to execute the ball. Because if you don't get to the ball one step ahead, then the ball will end up dictating you. But because she's been able to do that consistently, she's able to fire shots left and right. She's able to create a lot of opening when she's playing matches. And as well, I believe she's good at being in the offensive side of the game. And she's also good at being on the defensive side of the game. So she's able to play those two very effectively. So that's number 1. So the reason, number 2, why Naomi Osaka is on top of her game most of the time is her maturity. So I can say that not a lot of tennis players have that maturity. I believe that's what separates being in the professional league from the non-professional. And it's also, maturity is also what separates the champions in the WTA or even in the ATP from the ones who aren't really consistently, being able to become a champion or Grand Slam champion or even winning titles. There are a lot of talented tennis players out there, and to be honest, everyone knows how to hit great forehands, everyone knows how to hit great backhands, especially if you're in the professional kind of the tennis league. But not everyone plays with maturity. And maturity is something that you gain through experience. Like even I myself, I wouldn't be able to say that I have a high level of maturity when I play tennis. And I'm still developing that. But back to Naomi Osaka, she has that maturity. And I believe this is why she's one of the very consistent WTA players out there who are on top, is because of that maturity. So what does that mean by maturity? So for me, maturity means she is consistent. Everyone can be consistent, especially if you're in the professional league already. You probably have that capability to be consistent. But along with that consistency is that she has her patience. So she doesn't really become offensive on her shot all the time. And it's one of the mistakes that tennis players who aren't that mature yet have. So in the US Open 2020, right? Did you see the match between Pablo Carreno Busta and Denis Shapovalov? So I believe that Denis Shapovalov is a very talented player as well, but you can see that he doesn't have maturity. So he's an example of someone who doesn't have maturity. He did really well on serve and volley play, but what he lacked is that mental maturity. He was getting frustrated when he misses the ball, when he hits an out, he gets frustrated. And then why he doesn't have that mental maturity is he does that one-handed backhand with a really nice stroke, and then you jump into the ball and it's so stylish. It's like a really nice picture to take, but it has a very low chance of success, that kind of shot. And that is what Denis Shapovalov keeps doing, and it's not working for him. It's a high pressure situation. He's in the quarterfinals and he's playing with Pablo Carreno Busta, which I believe is also a very talented and consistent player. And he's battling it out with his low percentage shots. So that is an example of tennis immaturity in the professional level. No, I'm not, don't get me wrong. Denis Shapovalov is a very talented player, but that's something that he needs to develop if he wants to, like he said, he wants to be lifting trophies, right? He said it in one of his videos in YouTube where I think it was the pre-season training 2019. Yeah, I watched that. I'm very inspired by Denis Shapovalov. He's a great kid, but he doesn't have that maturity yet. So I'm very inspired by his hard work. But along with the hard work and the skills is you need this. So that's what Naomi Osaka has, is that she has that patience. She doesn't offensively hit the shot all the time. She picks the right moment when she will do that. So aside from that is she is very strategic. Naomi Osaka is a very strategic player. She always produces good openings and she's very patient and she knows the good shot selection in her matches. So the third reason why Naomi Osaka is such an amazing tennis player is her laser-like focus. So she's in the flow state. So what is the flow state? They say that when your head is in the game, you're in your flow state. So in some self-help, they call this as the know-nothing state, because this is the state of your mind where you basically don't know anything at all. It's as if your body is one with what you're doing. It's what they call, what do you call it in other things? I don't know how else to call it, but that laser-like focus that Naomi Osaka has. A good example is when she won against Serena Williams in US Open in 2018. And by the time I'm making this video, the semifinals of US Open 2020 hasn't started yet. So we still don't know who will win. And a lot of people are predicting that it will be Serena Williams versus Naomi Osaka again in the finals, and this can be another matchup which will be very exciting. But the edge that Naomi Osaka had the 2018 US Open was that she had this laser-like focus. Remember that time when Serena Williams had a little argument with the judge? So Naomi Osaka, she went in the interview with the press conference interview after the game, and one of the the media people asked her, media persons, one of them asked her, knowing that Serena Williams is your idol, tennis idol, and what's your opinion about what had happened to Serena with that argument and that game penalty that she had. So the answer of Naomi Osaka, which a lot of people don't really believe, is that her answer was, I'm not really aware of it, I don't even know what was happening. And she said that the audience was too loud for her to hear it anyways. And she said that when she's going into the match, she was trained to just focus on the ball. She was just trained to just focus on the game. That's it, and nothing else exists. So that's the laser-like focus that I'm talking about. Your opponent could be getting injured, or maybe your opponent is getting an argument with the sports facilitators, but you're not aware of it because your thinking is on the game. So that is the kind of laser-like focus that Naomi Osaka has that makes her, on the top of her game consistently this past couple of years. And to top it off, the kind of laser-like focus that she has is an unwavering laser-like focus. So, focus is easy to maintain 20 minutes, for a duration of 20 minutes. But to be able to maintain your focus for an hour or so is a kind of mental muscle that you have to develop. So, tennis matches don't just last 20 minutes. They can last an hour or more if it's a women's match. So, having that laser-like focus, an unwavering laser-like focus, if you can have that will take you to world number one. And that's what Naomi Osaka has. the quarterfinals. I watched her quarterfinals with Shelby Rogers. This year, 2020, I watched it on TV. And Shelby Rogers was an opponent that she never beat before in a tennis match. There were two times that before a couple of days ago, or I think it was yesterday, before there were two times that she was beaten by Shelby Rogers, but she has to face Shelby in the quarterfinals. So during that match, Shelby Rogers was getting her momentum. She closed the game. But what was so impressive about Naomi Osaka was she never allowed Shelby Rogers to carry on that momentum furthermore. She beat her to her momentum, and she was able to have good answers, and she was able to close the next game to break Shelby Rogers' momentum and focus. So that's what you need in tennis. Tennis is more of a mental game than a physical or skills game, because I believe that once you're in the professional league of tennis, then you have all those skills. You have all, especially if you're like in the top 20. Those guys have all the skills they need to become world number one. They have the physical skills, but it's what separates the world number one from the top 20 ATP or WTA player is really the mental aspect of the game. And that's what Naomi Osaka has. She's able to become very emotionally stable with herself, and those are the three reasons why we just love Naomi Osaka. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video knowing about why Naomi Osaka is on the top of her game in the WTA tour. So if there's anyone to emulate in the WTA, it could be Naomi Osaka. She's my candidate. And good luck to both Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka. Both of them could be winners, and the other two semifinalists, we don't really know. But when it comes to the prediction that Naomi Osaka and Serena Williams will be in the final, it's fine with me. Whoever wins, still fine with me. I'm a fan of both anyway, so thanks and goodbye.